Black girl was cleaning the office, until the millionaire saw her and learned the reason. He cried. The mop handle felt smooth and familiar in Alara's hands, a stark contrast to the cold, glittering expanse of the city viewed from the 40th floor window. Below, headlights streamed like liquid gold. A world away from the smudges she methodically erased from the polished marble. Her reflection stared back. A young woman in a plain janitor's uniform, superimposed over a kingdom of glass and steel she could only ever polish, never possess. Her fingers, though calloused, brushed against a small, worn photograph tucked into her pocket. A smiling man with kind eyes, his arm around a younger Alara. A silent promise echoed in her heart. A promise to honor a dream that wasn't hers to begin with. Working hard or hardly working? A voice sneered. Mark, the night shift supervisor, leaned against the doorframe, a smug grin on his face. He watched her with the lazy contempt of a man who enjoyed his small measure of power. Alara said nothing, her jaw tightening just slightly as she dipped the mop back into the bucket. Her silence was a shield, her focus on the floor a quiet act of defiance. Just then, the elevator doors hissed open. A man in a flawlessly tailored suit, Alistair Finch, the firm's reclusive CEO, stepped out. His presence immediately sucked the air out of the room. Mark straightened up, his smirk vanishing, replaced by a fawning deference. Alistair, however, didn't look at him. His gaze was fixed on Alara, but not on her cleaning. He was looking at the large whiteboard in the corner, a surface usually reserved for corporate strategy, now covered in complex, elegant schematics she had been sketching from memory. He walked past Mark as if he were a ghost and stopped before the board. The equations were intricate, the design revolutionary, a solution to an engineering problem that had stumped his top team for months. The few remaining employees in the office, initially oblivious, slowly turned. Their whispers died, their mockery turning to confusion, then to a stunned silence. They saw a cleaner, but Alistair saw genius. Where did you learn this? Alistair's voice was quiet, cutting through the stillness. Alara finally looked up, her eyes meeting his. My father taught me, she said, her voice soft but steady. He worked here a long time ago. His name was Daniel. Alistair's composure fractured. His face went pale. Daniel, the brilliant, uncredited engineer, his friend and mentor, who had died with his greatest ideas stolen by the company. He looked from the board to the young woman before him, seeing the same fire, the same quiet brilliance in her eyes. Mark stood frozen, the color draining from his face as he connected the impossible truth. His earlier disdain now felt like a lead weight in his stomach. Without another word, Alistair raised his phone and took a careful picture of the whiteboard. It wasn't just a photo of a design. It was proof. It was a promise restored, a legacy reclaimed. The quiet click of the camera was the only sound, a silent, symbolic gesture that sealed her victory far more profoundly than any shouted words ever could.